Delegate from Newport News, Delegate Price.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaking to the resolution.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, and I ask that you have some patience with me because I was going to let it ride until some folks wanted to invoke my name, or my position, I should say. So I just have a few things to say. But if anybody in this chamber or anywhere else wants to question whether or not I stand for Virginia, I have traced 10 generations back to the ugliness of the mid-Atlantic slave trade of my bloodline to Virginia. Through the Reconstruction era, through the white backlash of Jim Crow, through the civil rights era on whose shoulders I stand, to today. But I wasn't here to talk about history. It seems like the other side wants to go back to a certain date. I'm not sure how far back, but I definitely don't want to go 250 years back personally. But I am worried about the future. And so when we are looking at the future, I am hearing a deafening hypocrisy. Because now we're belittling what happens in other states. Oh, it's just Texas. Oh, it's just North Carolina. As if basic civics knowledge does not teach us that what happens on the federal level can impact everyone. Mr. Speaker, I have an example for you, okay? In 2024, as North Carolina was electing a Democratic governor, its legislature decided to go from 7 congressional members, 7 Democrats, 7 Republicans, to 10-4. That gave them the 218 majority in the Congress. So you don't tell me that what happens in other states doesn't impact Virginia, because, Mr. Speaker, we know what they did with that majority. Some may call it the big, beautiful bill. I choose not to, but with H.R. 1, cuts to SNAP, cuts to Medicaid, letting health care tax credits expire so that health care is going to double and triple in cost to the families. And if you want to talk about rural Virginia, their hospitals might close because of this bill that happened because of a majority that was stolen on the backs of black North Carolinians. And you can shake your head, but you can also Google it for free. And all of these issues, Mr. Speaker, guaranteed back pay for federal workers, all of the issues that are being decided right now in this shutdown are because of a stolen majority. So what happens in other states matters. And I am very clear, because I've been here for 10 years, that if they had the majority, they'd be doing the same thing we are. So this feigned shock, this moral high ground that you think you have, why don't we direct that to South Carolina's lieutenant governor, who at hearing that the Voting Rights Act might drop said, if we could get a clean sweep, I would love that. Texas Republican State Representative Brian Harrison, one thing that the Democrats said is true, the stakes couldn't be higher. Like the future of the Republic, the future of America could quite literally be hanging in the balance, because if we have a margin in the U.S. Congress less than 5 seats, our redistricting efforts here could quite frankly control whether or not Congress in the upcoming midterms falls to the radical Democrat Party. Another one said, so Texas is going to do what's necessary for Texas to stay on board. I am very clear what Republican unity looks like. And because I follow some of you on Twitter, I have yet to see you say anything about what your president has done. So now we're supposed to believe that somehow you would find moral courage, Mr. Speaker, they would find moral courage in this important moment. So spare us the lectures. Representative Todd Hunter, I'm standing with Republican members. And what's wrong with Republicans standing up and Republicans stepping up and Republicans being honest? What you don't like, which is that the Supreme Court says we can use political and partisanship to do congressional redistricting. Shall I go on, Mr. Speaker? Because the state senator, one of my favorites of the quotes, Brendan Jones says, the motivation behind this new redistricting plan is straightforward. The new congressional map improves Republican political strength in eastern North Carolina. So while you were shaking your head when I said that, who lives in eastern North Carolina and was chopped up? Black people. Roll your eyes. Do what you got to do, but it's true. Then he goes on and says, simple and singular, draw a new map that will bring an additional Republican seat. As I close, Mr. Speaker. No, that's fine. It's fine.
The House will come to order. That's not necessary. Nobody interrupted anybody over here when y'all was making y'all speeches. Let's just stick with some decorum over here. I know y'all frustrated because y'all going to stay in the minority, but let's stick with some decorum. Thank you.
I just have a few more points, Mr. Speaker, and then we can go. I just want to remind the people that when they keep living in the past and keep bringing up the vote on the redistricting commission before, that was before the other states acted, that was before the current Supreme Court case of the Voting Rights Act, that was before all of these quotes. And as I said during the meeting, the east wing of the White House was still standing when that vote was taken. But times have changed very quickly. And if you really care about the voters as much as you claim, then why not send them an additional opportunity to have their voice be heard? And just, Mr. Speaker, I have to say this, because only one Republican that I have seen in the nation actually cop to the fact that he didn't like or didn't agree with what might have started in Texas. But then he invoked the Virginia way. And I know, as a student of history, that the Virginia way was once used to quiet dissent in the guise of decorum. But I'm living for the future, Mr. Speaker, and that's why new times and unprecedented times call for a new Virginia way. So we do have the opportunity to show the nation what we're made of in Virginia, and that's to get this resolution to the voters. So I will just say, as I said before, these power grabs in other states were directly at black districts. We cannot ignore the racial component of this. And so others may want to see their legislature look like the legislatures of Jim Crow. I do not. And if we're going to talk about the diversity and the beauty of this body, mostly on this side, then we need to preserve that. And I would ask that you would support House Joint Resolution 6007. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.